The entrepreneurial flatline is something that's not talked about. And if you ever try to sell something online successfully, unsuccessfully, you've seen Alex Ramosi, some of the popular business guys out there right now, Russell Brunson, maybe you've read some business books in the past. If you have ever been through a time period where you've had a significant up, meaning a significant success, or a significant down, and you reach something called a flatline, this video is for you. I'm going to be explaining to you something that not a lot of business owners will tell you, especially in the online marketing space. And this is something that I actually finally concluded on yesterday. I had a phone call with one of my buddies named Chris. He has a marketing agency down in Austin, Texas, and he's doing really well. For confidentiality purposes, I'm not going to say how much he's making, but he's making a lot for being similar age as me. So we're both 20. Something that I realized, and this video is going to be different because it might not be what you think. Something that I realized is that there comes a time where, as an agency owner, especially as an agency owner, you've had a significant success, whether you hit your first 10, 20, 25, $30,000 a month, and you're there, and then next month something drops off, and the next month something breaks, and then a bunch of clients leave, a bunch of things happen, and you sort of experience the full face of online business and entrepreneurship, the good and the bad, and you just sort of start to get kind of burnt out because things are really repetitive. And this is what I'm coining as, I don't know if I even coined this term, but the entrepreneurial flatline is that time period where you've had success, you know what success tastes like, but you're having issues sustaining it, or you're having issues getting it back and keeping it. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. About 3 years ago, when I kind of hopped in the online space, I was doing affiliate marketing, as you guys know. I was doing affiliate marketing for a health and wellness company called Live Good. I was selling memberships, and I was selling nutrition plans and supplements and things like that, okay? And I didn't know what I was doing. I was just starting to learn sales, and I made my first dollar online. And that was a huge success. This was a time period where you guys can look on the channel. I'll even share my screen right now and just kind of show you guys some of the stuff too. We go to any given video on my channel. We click on my channel here. You guys can go down. I have over 340 videos talking about marketing, sales, client acquisition, customer satisfaction, fulfillment, CRMs, books. Buddy Ricky here. You can go down all the way to where this was. It's probably a year or 2 years ago, something like that. And I had just had my first sort of initial success with affiliate marketing. I slowly transitioned to something called paid ads. And I only ran one type of paid ad, and I never learned paid ads further than that. And it's something that I kind of kicked myself in the ass for, because when I learned paid ads, I learned just profile visit paid ads. I wasn't even in the real meta ads manager. I was just doing profile visit paid ads. And I saw some initial success because a buddy of mine hit me up when I was running a profile visit ad. And he said, "Hey, what are you doing? I want in on this." It just so happened that he was an Amazon FBA business owner. So you guys can see here is a picture of me showing you guys what I was doing, and then a Zoom call with him to where he signed his first coaching client. So in terms of my own business, my own offer, it started off with I would run profile visit paid ads for FBA coaches or FBA owners, and they would kind of have a little mentorship or coaching offer. And so that's kind of how it started. I was just running a simple profile visit paid ad for these FBA owners, and I was getting them traffic and getting them coaching clients, basically. Now, a couple months later, after that, I slowly pivoted. Now, I think this is where I hit my first flatline. It was around this time period. And the reason why I'm showing you guys is not just to kind of tell you guys my story, but it's to help you out to watch for the differences and ebbs and tides that will happen in your online business journey, and that you probably experience too as you see this. Now, at this point in time, I was feeling very like I had success. I've sold a decent amount of I don't like to say sold. I've helped a decent amount of customers up at this point, and I had some good case studies and results. I made the mistake of doing what all beginners do, and I switched offers. I switched offers like that. And I switched offers mainly to just funnels and landing pages. And so I would help businesses with their funnels, with their landing pages. And I didn't really know what I was doing. in terms of why I switched, but I knew how to fulfill. I knew how to make a landing page convert better. I knew exactly what to say for the copy. I was already getting better at copywriting, marketing. I was already getting decently good at sales too. And I had to start all over again from scratch. I forced myself to do this. I mean, nobody else told me to do this. And it was a huge mistake. It was a huge mistake because I chased a shiny object and I switched. And you guys can see how many shiny objects I've chased over the course of this entire YouTube channel. It's only been about a couple, right? I've had decent success with a lot of them, but it wasn't until I stuck with marketing for software companies, probably around this time, I'll probably say, a little over a year ago, when things started solidifying. Okay. So I started just helping out after this point in time, software companies with marketing. And I get a ton of agency owners from this YouTube channel because any one of you guys can click on any video, look at the comment section or the description. You guys can go to the landing page, fill out your information, and then install my cold outreach system. It's cold email. So I was getting a lot of agency owners like yourself, maybe, who would watch my videos and be very interested in what I do. And I learned that I have to differentiate the inbound funnel from my actual business, which was the marketing agency. And that wasn't something that I wanted to do because I didn't want a bunch of people coming here from YouTube, seeing me and already being super nurtured. I sell them one thing. Maybe I'm not fully convicted in it. And then I'm over here cold emailing or reaching out to a bunch of people on LinkedIn, software companies and other agencies about another offer. I said, no, screw that. So it wasn't until I solidified and sort of was thinking through this flat line of like, why am I feeling like crap? Like, why am I feeling like I have success, but I'm not like there? You know, I mean, I had money in the bank at the time. I was doing well, and I was just more confused than anything because I didn't have a solid offer that I could sell an infinite amount of times and fulfill for infinite amount of times. And so about a year and a half ago, as you guys can see on my channel and stuff, I began really just solidifying a system. And the system has changed drastically over the past year, but I've gotten really good at one thing, and that's outbound marketing. That's something that actually stayed with me. I started cold emailing very frequently around this time period. And ever since then, I've been documenting the process. Okay. Here's what I want to tell you guys. The sooner you just stop giving yourself a bunch of different alleys and you just stick with one thing, the sooner you will compound your success. For instance, if you go to any link under any YouTube video in the description, you click on it, you're prompted to fill out a form to scale your business with Create MRR, which is my company's, my cold emailing system. Okay. Now, this is for any agency owner or software company. And the reason why I'm telling you this isn't to promote this, but it's to tell you that this is the exact same funnel and offer that I'm giving to software companies. There's just a done with you version and there's a done for you version. Okay. So in reality, my business is not changing because I'm here on YouTube talking and documenting, even though I'm still attracting agency owners. I have the same offer. I have the same proven process. I have the same system. I encourage you to think in systems. This is the number one rule I learned from my mentors. He said, the faster you think of systems and how you can build a proper system, the less you'll have to do custom fulfillment for each client. And that's something that really hit home because, mind you, this entire time, throughout me running paid traffic on Instagram, I was creating different offers for different Amazon FBA owners who were willing to start coaching. And then during the funnels era, I was having to construct all these different custom landing pages for different offers with different copy that constantly had to be tweaked due to conversion rates. And my fulfillment as an agency owner was consistently being changed. It was all custom. There was no copy and paste system. It wasn't until I got super clear on not just who I'm targeting, who my avatar was, but until I was like, this is the only thing I'm going to sell. And for a while, it was LinkedIn and email. And depending on where you were at, it was like, okay, well, you can have a cold email here. If you're trying to reach a specific segment, let's just do LinkedIn for LinkedIn outreach. This is an automated platform that I use. And that was something that still I was playing around with two different realms of business when I should have just stuck with one. And I would have kicked myself on the ass if I told myself a year ago, 2 years ago, that if you just learn cold email or you learn some cold outreach method. I don't care if it's cold email, maybe it's LinkedIn outreach or it's cold SMS, and you just stick with it. You will be far more successful in a year and a half than you would be if you did this for 3 months and then you switch to Google SEO, paid ads for another 6 months. And then for another 6 months, you change the YouTube ads. I'm just throwing out examples here. But the compound interest effect only plays a role the longer of the duration you are in the specific model for. In other words, if you switch and chase a shiny object, you will not, you kill your chances of any compound success. And you have to start out all over again. And so this is the agency flatline. It's not just you're consistently broke and you have no money and you don't know what you're doing. It's you've had success in another business model, or you've had success in a different offering. And then you've seen that offering kind of go down. Maybe you've pivoted a little bit here and you're trying to go back up to here, but something feels off. The flatline I'm referring to is a feeling that you have deep down that you know you can have a consistent business where things make sense, but right now everything in your head is just foggy, including the results that you're not getting. And this was something that I dealt with for so long. And even today, things get cloudy. Last week, things get cloudy. But you always go back to the same statement, the same mission statement, which is I'm sticking with cold outbound as of right now. Like I'm sticking with that right now. And you can make $1 million in paid ads. In the paid ad space, you can make $1 million selling cold email infrastructure, which is what I plan on doing. You can make $1 million selling weight loss programs. You can make $1 million selling soccer balls. Like there's so many different ways to do it, but at the end of the day, you have to stick with it. Now, the last point I really want to touch on is your ability to systematize fulfillment. So whenever somebody goes through one of my funnels, we'll outreach to them and we'll set up a call if they haven't already auto booked in from the form they've sent. Okay. And when we take the call with them, we obviously assess where they're at currently, what's holding them back for where they're trying to go, and then where they're actually trying to go. And typically, 98% of the time, if they're a marketing agency owner that sells in the B2B space, that wants to book more appointments with another B2B company or another company in the business realm, they can use cold email. If they're SaaS or software, if they're a software company that works really well, SaaS is like, well, sometimes it's B2C, doesn't really work as well. But if they're a software company, if they're a marketing agency owner, well, of course, they're a B2B company, it works like a charm. Now, every single time I fulfilled for a customer for the past couple of months, it's been the same exact thing. It's we deliver this cold email infrastructure, we'll set it up, we'll have a call, have our onboarding call, we'll warm up domains, we'll launch it, and then boom, we'll have an implementation call to where I hand it over to you. Because I've been able to systematize my fulfillment process to pretty much 3 Zoom calls, I now am able to say, okay, this customer comes in, I'm not going to retain them like an agency for 18 months and do all this work for them and book them a bunch of calls and they're out my ass on Slack. I can just deliver the system. I can continuously book them calls and they want a maintenance package or something, but I'm getting an upfront investment for the system. And this allows me to have predictability in the business. Okay. Now, this was something that I didn't have for so long. For the longest time, I was just kind of doing one-off projects of kind of like what I like to call them. They were one-off projects of we'll do this here for your funnels, we'll do this here for your ad strategy, we'll do this here for whatever. And you will not scale with that because you can only take on, say, 5 or 10 customers that have different needs and different fulfillment bottlenecks and different acquisition needs. And this guy's copy needs to be tweaked here on the landing page. Maybe you're helping this other guy out with ads and his offer needs to be tweaked. Or maybe you're trying to split test this headline on this landing page for her. And so you're having to keep track of Bob, Joe, Mike, Sally, like all these other people. And in reality, you just can't do that. And if you do, you'll hire a big team, which will bring your margins from 80% to 20% take-home margins because you're having to stress about paying everybody else. And it's just a whole mess. When in reality, now, if Bobby, Sue, Joe, Jill, whatever, come to me and they need a system, I'm like, cool. I'm not going to be responsible for booking calls. I'm just going to literally build and release. Like, I'm just going to build a system with you and then install it with you and hand it over to you. And you're going to save $20K a year because I'm not charging you $2K a month. for these maintenance packages. So you're saving $20,000 over the course of the entire year, and you're only getting it for a one-time install fee. That's it. And this allows me to have predictability, not just in revenue, but in fulfillment, because they come into the business and the offering, paying me and knowing that I'm going to be delivering the system with the utmost level of perfection in their business, get everything set up and squared away so that I don't have to be there anymore. Because I don't want to have to babysit 50 different accounts. That's the old way of running an agency. So if I had to tell myself, like, if there's one thing I've learned over all these damn videos, all these 300 plus videos helping out, I don't even know how many customers / clients we've helped out. It's been a lot, considering marketing agency guys, software company guys, and just other business owners. I don't even know at this point. But if there's one thing I had to tell myself and like literally teach myself back then, was that just stick with a system. Just stick with fulfilling for one system. Like, just stick with it. One system and one fulfillment process. That's it. And you can make $1 million in almost any niche doing that. I know people that are making a lot more money than me, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a month selling systems, not custom fulfillment. And so that is something that I have significantly had to learn the hard way, and that I don't want you having to learn the hard way. So as I continue on with these cold email series, and as I'm building the cold email agency, obviously my mission is to help any agency or software company install a system to book more meetings. But I'm not solely responsible for it. In other words, you get all the blueprints, you get the handoff, you get all the implementation tools, you get everything you need, like a playbook, to be successful in booking calls with cold infrastructure without me having to charge you $2,000 a month for maintenance, without me having to do all the work for you and everything's hidden behind the scenes, but enabling you to have the system and enabling a marketing agency owner or a software company to have the system in-house, or just have it as a whole, as a solo founder, and utilize it, right? That's what I plan on doing. So out of everything that I've learned, it's got to be wrapped up into that. Selling out in infrastructure. Now, a lot of guys will disagree with me and say that service-based businesses are the best way to do it, where you have recurring revenue. That's true, but for me, I want to have very clear inputs and outputs of a business. Because if I charge a company $1.5K a month for agency maintenance, which I've done over the course of 6 months, you cash collect $9,000. It takes you 6 months to make $9,000 on a $1.5K month retainer. Now, if you were just to position your infrastructure as $9.5K up front, and you tell them they're saving $20K a year by paying half of it up front, and they keep the system forever, meaning more than a couple of years, you not only collect all that cash up front, but you're actually able to deliver a premium service without the headache of fulfillment for the following 5.9 months. So this is not only a win-win for you because you learn the system as an agency or as a software company, but it's a win-win for me because I don't have the stress of having to continuously book you calls and report back. I know the system books calls, and there's proven copy and playbooks that you have to follow to book calls. And if you don't, then you won't book any calls. But if you do, you'll book, I know because I do it, 10, 15, 20, 30 calls a month. So that is kind of how we're transitioning everything. And, I'm still I still have shiny objects, and people don't a lot of people don't get this. Even people that are successful and making a good amount of money online, they still have shiny object syndrome. I had shiny object syndrome when I was staying in my mom's house in my old bedroom, I was like, wow, this is going really well. What if I chase this? When I told myself when I move my own apartment, I get my own place and everything, this will all go away. I'll be more successful. And, while I'm more successful, the thought is still there of whoa, you should really start running this type of paid ad or do this over here. And you can obviously transition and grow. I'm not saying not to, but there's a time and a place for that. And that's only after you've fully maxed out your capabilities for that one specific segment that you're targeting. So I haven't maxed out everything for cold email and cold outreach. There's still a lot more untapped things that I have to learn. So I'm still continuing down this path. Whereas if I were to put 50% of my revenue into paid ads, I'd probably just like sink while trying to learn paid ads and then just maintain a cold email infrastructure. When if you put all of your energy and effort into one singular activity, you will grow. That's a message for you. And that's how you're going to get over the entrepreneurial flatline. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like and a comment down below if you guys have any questions. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.